welcome to another Monday with us. I'm astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn, and as you see, I have with me. Hold on, let me do this. Make sure I'm getting this right. As you see, I have two distinguished ladies that will be on in just a moment, and so we're going to be offering sessions doing readings on numerology and cardology. They're very closely related. I did not know until I met Aquarius Maximus, followed by Neena Diamond, who will be there, and of course Jacquie Leviene that will be joining us in just a moment. But before we do that, I want to do the. Let me see something here. Okay, let me get this out the way. And okay, hi everybody. How you doing? It's Monday. It is the 7th of November. Believe it or not, this year is almost a wrap. But this is going to be astrology week because today I'm having someone with the Queen of Numerology, the Queen of Cardology, and then on Wednesday I'm having a lady on astrology. So it's going to be a week to give in your birthdays, whatever the case is, and we will find out what's going on. But in the meantime, let me bring on my very special guests, Neena Diamond and Jacquie Leviene. How you doing, ladies?
Great, great.
Hey, Lloyd, thank you for having me.
Question, ladies. You two have been collaborating on putting numerology and cardology together. How did you do it, and how does it work?
Okay. Jazz. It's like I was waiting for you to
I'm
talk.
Yeah, we
deferring
waiting on you. We waiting on you, Neena. Go right ahead.
deference too.
And no, I was watching your show and Jazz was on, and I was like, I've never heard this before. I said, just be patient. You'll get a chance to introduce yourself to her. So I knew it was going to happen. I just intrinsically felt that we just would do great together. So after we talked, and I said, it just went from there to where we are now. It's just that the connection, that metaphysical connection, because I find when astrology, numerology, cardology just fits right in there, right? So it just was kismet. It just made perfect sense, right?
It sure
Well,
did.
yeah, and I'll say this too because what happens is once I started Clubhouse. In fact, I started Clubhouse because of you, Neena Diamond. Okay, to be honest with you, and I even asked, was this the best day to go on? And it was a Eight of Diamond, which is you in cardology. So maybe you picked that because you were Eight of Diamond. I don't know, but I know this: all three of us across the scale here, we're all diamonds. We all bring to the table of life resources from what you're saying. But it was amazing listening to you and how you would describe a number card, and it sounded just like the description of the numbers numerically speaking. Jacquie, what about you?
Yeah, so pretty much what Diamond said. It was interesting because she was on a live on Instagram talking about my book. And I'm in my bedroom on a hot summer day. And I'm like, let me see what this live is about. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Nina Diamond is speaking about my book on IG. And so I jumped into the comments and she asked me to come on the live and we started speaking about the book. And that was, I think, before I started the Clubhouse room. And from our conversations, she's been supporting me in my Clubhouse rooms on Tuesdays, talking about the book and helping me break it down with the cardology when I do the numerology. And so we really made some very strong connections with the characters in the book, with the timing of things, and showing how the cards and the numerology definitely tell the story. And so that's what we want to do. We want to come together as we have to spread this knowledge with other women so that they have the tools to navigate life and not feel as if they're helpless without any support.
Well, I'll say this. It is certainly true because I've tuned in on most Tuesdays when you have your clubhouse knocking from the inside every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and listening to you and Diamond. It's just like It's just amazing. It's like numerology and cardology are like kissing cousins. It's almost who came first. I'm still gonna say numbers came first, Nina. Nothing personal to me, okay? Because everything got to start with numbers. So, but it's just amazing the synergy between cardology, palmistry, astrology, numerology is all related. It's just the most amazing thing to me. And Nina, how long have you been doing this, dear?
Well, I started, I always say I started as a teenager with astrology because back in the day, we found out that the brothers were in the astrology. So me and my friends started, you said, well, that's where we got to go. They have an astrology over there. So that's when I started with astrology. I was probably around, I know I wasn't 16 yet. So that's when I fell in love with astrology. And then my dad introduced me to you years later on the radio, as when I fell in love with numerology. And about 20 something years ago, I fell in love with cardology. So it just all just came together, in the way that things do. So yeah, it just came together.
Well, I tell you this, it's a nice synergy. And what we're going to do already, we've got comments, so we're going to open it up. Now, before we start, ladies, do y'all need questions, birthdays? I guess y'all can do it all. Would I be
Well,
correct?
yeah, we can
Okay.
do it all, but let's confine it to the birthdays for now.
Good enough. So, what I'm going to do is go to the comment sections and we're going to start at the top. And in fact, somebody already, Karima, who will be our very first one, she says she's born February the 10th of 1968. A general reading, please, and thank you. This is Karima.
All right, Karima. So I'm doing the pinnacles just so that you guys know. And the pinnacles are lessons that we have to overcome in our lives. And this is pretty much the roadmap that we follow. So we have clear directions as to what to navigate, what challenges to overcome. So I'll read you your lesson and your challenge. And Karima, you are in an 8 pinnacle cycle. You are in your last pinnacle cycle. There are 4 of them. You're in your last. And the 8 talks about you managing money. So this is not a time, if you thought that you were going to retire, for you to sit down and be still. This is a time for you to go out, build business, build your resources, stack your money, grow your money, but also know that with the resources that you get, that you need to start donating and assisting others because you're in a 9 personal year. And so the 9 personal year, although it's about completions, is also about being a humanitarian. So you want to share those resources with those who are in need so that you can continue to build upon this wealth that you're building. Your challenge is a 4. And so this challenge is to maintain structure and discipline and to put in the hard work. That money comes from the work that we do. 8 is all about reaping what you sow. So what you put in is what you get out. So don't be afraid of the hard work and make sure that you structure yourself.
And you're a 2 of spades, and I'm going to give you the information from the collective spread, which is the United States. And this year, you may, 2 of spades are not necessarily front people. You have your times where 2 of spades really want to spend that time, but you're displacing the 10 of hearts. So you may feel like a social butterfly sometimes. You may be getting a lot more invitations to go out and stuff. But your challenging karma card is the Jack of Clubs, and it's your Venus card. So work, relationships definitely, but work this year have taken on a different flavor for you. So you may be, 2 of spades, like I say, y'all like to sit back, but this year hasn't been sitting back. And somebody from your past may have reached out to you this year. If not, possibility, you may be hearing from somebody from your past.
You get scary sometime, Nina. Okay, that's all I'll say. I'll leave it at that. I don't know how you do it. But anyway, we have Crystal, and she would like a reading. Her date of birth is December the 25th, as you see on the bottom of the screen.
So, Crystal, you are in your 9 pinnacle lesson. And the 9 pinnacle lesson is one that talks about, again, humanitarianism, giving of yourself. Is also the vibration of drama. And so, if you're involved in anything that is artistic, now is the time for you to shine, to put yourself out there, as well as enhance your spiritual gifts, because nine is also about spirituality. And so, while you are giving of yourself, you also want to give of yourself in terms of the gifts that you have to share, because your challenges are two. And the two talks about challenges with people who are afraid to develop their psychic abilities. You may have abilities that you're afraid to speak on or act on or to develop. As well as with that, too, you definitely want to be very diplomatic and exercise tact when you speak to those around you, because two is all about cooperation and working as part of a team. And I definitely think that your spirituality is what you need to focus on this year, because you're in a seven personal year, and a seven personal year calls for you to do some introspective work, to really look at the things that you need to develop, really focus on what your life's purpose is, and really get to the core and the center of you and develop you in a spiritual way. And so, what are you doing? What are you learning? Possibly signing up for one of our classes. Anything that you can do to build yourself up spiritually is recommended.
Yeah.
Diamond.
And your Six of Hearts. So this is your season. We're in heart season now, and we're at the end of heart season. But you're facing the Ten of Diamonds this year. So you definitely, over the last, I would say, 6 years, have definitely had trials and tribulations to get to where you are, looking at how you manage your resources. This is your year overflow, depending on how you've been operating. You have definitely going to, with this moon, I want you to be careful and pay attention tomorrow, because it's going to be challenging to you in just wanting you to be better with your intuition. Definitely better with your intuition. It has been a year. I don't know if you changed jobs, if you moved, or if you're thinking about it. You may be thinking about relocating. So you definitely have a year that you want to really sit back and do some introspective work, because there's a lot of potential in this year, but it's based on what you've done for the last 5 to 6 years.
I want to say hello to Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Williams. They every week, without fail, he tells people to get the likes up and all that other stuff, as well as the moderator. And so I thank everybody. Everybody is very, very nice. And let me tell you, I really, really appreciate all of you. I do not take you for granted, but that's how I was raised. Take no one for granted. All right, we have another one here, Antonia. She is October the 29th of 73.
Antonia, so you are in your third pinnacle cycle and you're ending this cycle. You've been in a seven lesson. Seven lessons are hard because it takes you away from the rest of the world. Before you were in a four, so you were accustomed to working hard and putting in that work and just grinding and really moving and shaking. But then you had to retreat for the past 9 years, and you really got to be self-centered, for lack of a better word, which is a good thing, because now is the time for you to again focus on yourself, build those crafts and those abilities that you have that are calling to you to come out. And it's calling out to, because you're in a one challenge. The one challenge speaks about you stepping forth, following your own convictions, possibly starting your own business, stepping out and really pushing yourself to the forefront so people can hear and see what it is that you have to say. And you are in a nine personal year. So this is all about wish fulfillment. What do you want to manifest? What have you been working on for the past 8 years that should be manifesting in your wish fulfillment year, in this nine? And so I ask that because in this nine personal year, you also need to be mindful of your health. Because when you're coming out into the forefront, like I'm asking you to do, it's going to hit you in your stomach, because you are a Scorpio 11. So you will have digestive issues, nerves in the stomach. So any type of nervines or chamomile tea or passion flower tea, anything to calm the nerves, so that when you do assert yourself as you should, you're doing so from a very strong and stable ground.
Wow. And she's just another Six of Hearts. So like Lloyd likes to point it out, we got a lot of hearts today already, right? So she's another six of hearts. And what you said about this, the nine cycle is very interesting because she has the nine of hearts as her Pluto. So wish fulfillment is definitely the theme of the year for you, but you have the nine of diamonds as your reward. So just like the other young lady, either you're thinking about leaving your job or you've left your job. You may be thinking about relocation, definitely thinking about Georgia. You know, both of y'all, I don't know if you live in Georgia, but you got a powerful queen of spades, and Georgia is this queen of spades. So both of y'all are thinking about some changes for sure. There's definitely some, like I said, depending on the last 5 to 6 years, this year is an overflow for you. So y'all definitely, both of y'all won't quit your jobs. That much I can see.
Nina, let me
Oh.
ask you this briefly for those that may not be as familiar. What does each suit represent? Diamonds, of course, we start with them, spades, clubs, and hearts. Since you said it was clubs, I mean a heart, and then it was a heart season. So, what does the suits mean in just a snapshot way?
The
The
hearts
hearts
represent the
represent the
babies,
babies,
clubs are the
clubs are the
teenagers,
teenagers,
diamonds are
diamonds
the
are the
adults,
adults,
and
and
diamonds are
diamonds are
the
the
and
and
spades are the
spades are the
seniors.
seniors.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Putting it like that. So, hearts are the babies, clubs are the teenagers,
Mm-hmm.
diamonds are the adults, and
Mm-hmm.
sevens are the seniors.
The
The
spades are the
spades are the
seniors.
Say
seniors.
spades, excuse me, spades.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay,
Mm-hmm.
good, 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 good. Do you have a favorite other than us, all of us on this panel being diamonds?
I'm not
I'm not
saying that.
saying that.
No, no, I'm just saying because I'm a diamond, you're a diamond, Jackie's a diamond. It's just like it's diamond season today. Okay, it
It
might be
is
Hearts
It's
right
Week,
right
but it's diamond season today.
today, right?
today, right?
That part.
That part.
Okay, let's see who else we got. Okay.
Can I
Can
ask
I ask
Antonia, have
Antonia,
you left
have
your
you
job,
left your job,
Antonia, or are you
Antonia, or are
thinking
you
about?
thinking
I'm
about?
curious
I'm
about
curious
that.
about that.
Okay,
If
let
she can put
Antonia
it in the,
get back
if she can put it
to
in the
Put it in
me.
the
chat.
chat.
Okay. Wow. I got a very nice. Okay, I'm going to. Okay, I'm normally kind of laid back about something, but this young lady, Ellie, she is from the state of Washington. She said, Lloyd saved my life from suicidal drug withdrawals 30 days ago. I was not aware. I'm clean, I have a job, and I just bought a car. Thank you. I'm coming to see you, Ellie, wherever you are, okay? Good, good, good. Very, very, very good for Ellie. That I
Yes,
like.
that's
Yes, that's
amazing. That's
amazing. That's
dope.
dope.
Yeah. Okay, that's when we do the work, as you say, Diamond. All right. So now let's take Latasha Monique. Let's start with her.
So, Latasha, you are starting your one pinnacle lesson. This is your second cycle. So, you're in a one lesson. And the one lesson is all about you stepping forth and being your own boss. Ones have to follow their own conviction. What do you have to say? Because you're born on the 30th. And so you're very creative. In fact, born on the 30th means that you're mentally superior. You're able to learn information, retain it, and convey it in a way that others can get it, as well as convey it in a way that others don't get it because you're talking over their heads. But that's fine because how are you using that creativity to build? What do you have to do that needs to be done in far as creating your own, what it, your own project, own business, whatever it is, it has to be your own. Follow your own convictions. You do not have a challenge, and we call that a cipher. And when you don't have a challenge, it doesn't mean that you're free from challenges. It just means that you want to be purposeful about what it is you wish to focus on. What is something that you need to get better at? And in fact, your next pinnacle lesson is going to be in a four. And even though that's not until 9 years from now, you probably want to get into the habit of knowing how to use your resources wisely, knowing how to structure yourself, knowing how to be disciplined, just so that you can prepare yourself for that four. When it comes, you won't be blindsided because four is all about the hard work, which is why I'm asking what business you want to start. You're in a two personal year, so this is all about teamwork and partnership. Who are you partnering with to build this business or enterprise or whatever it is that you're building? So think about who you have in your corner, who you want to network with, and start to put those structures and systems in place so that things are moving smoothly and is a well-oiled machine for the next 9 years.
Wow.
Nina?
Now she's the three of hearts, another heart, like Lloyd would say, right? But this has been a very interesting year for you, and your birthday is November, so it's coming to an end for you. But this been a very interesting year for you. Definitely would have developed a lot of patience this year because things may not have, moved as quickly as you wanted them to move. Your challenging common cause is Six of Hearts, and that's in Jupiter. So people, places, and things, you definitely had deja vus. People from the past have definitely wanted to reach out to you. Maybe you have them blocked on the phone, but definitely having your year, I'm telling you, this year for you had to be a very interesting year. And the home, and there was definitely some transformative things that happened in your home. Definitely something that required you to allow it to play out. You had to take your hands off of it if you could. Maybe you couldn't, but if you could take your hands off of it, the karma next year, you'll definitely benefit from it. But it's been an interesting year for you.
Now we have J.M. Clinton, J. McClinton, rather, 8. They are born January the 13th of 75. So let's see what is up for them.
Oh, JM, you are interesting because you are in your last pinnacle cycle as well. And so you have a 5 lesson. And 5 lessons, I don't know who you are, if you're part of a man or a woman, JM, but regardless, this is not a time that you want to settle down. When you're in a 5 lesson, you just want to go and explore the world, have a good time, travel with good people, eat good food, drink good drinks, just indulge in all of the things that make your body feel good. And you should. You should enjoy yourself because this is the time for you to celebrate. The thing is, though, you're in an 11 personal year. So, although you want to be out and about, you keep getting these psychic downloads. Spirit keeps talking to you and saying, you know what, you have these visionary ideas that you need to get out and share with the world. You need to step onto the world stage and show what it is that you have to say because 11 is all about illumination. What are you sharing to raise the vibration of the collective? And your challenge is a 3. So you're afraid to express your authentic truth. Whenever we are in an 11 vibration, we have to share those pieces of ourselves that make us most vulnerable. So, what is it that you have gone through that will help others? Don't be afraid to share your absolute truth because that is what this pinnacle challenge is forcing you to do. Just know that you're born on the 13th of January. So, as a 13, whatever you're doing falls on you. Don't expect to get help from people. They're not coming to assist you. This is all about you doing the work and showing the world what it is that you have to offer.
And
Yeah.
she says she is a woman. Notice how she said she is a woman. 3, okay? Um, Diamond, I mean, Nina.
It's been a definitely everything that Jazz says makes perfect sense because she's an ace of spades and she's displacing a nine of clubs, universal knowledge. So this has been a year for you, and the nine of clubs is your Jupiter card in life. So this has definitely been everything that Jazz said and some. Definitely with the nine of clubs being your Mercury card, things that were definitely dealt with siblings if you have any early childhood and things like that this year. There were things that you had to really let go of this year in order to, because your birthday is right around the corner. And if you haven't let go of them, you want to let go of them right now because that 9 is supporting you to do that. And that's wish fulfillment. So when you follow the karmas of that 9 of clubs, which is cardology, by the way, and if you want to study cardology, this is the year for you. But you're the card of metaphysical sciences, so you know this stuff already. It's just listening to it just awakens you, opens you up. But there's nothing that we saying that you don't know about. But definitely want to pay attention to the evolution of this year.
Okay, we have another person here. They have an interesting birthday. Samesha, I hope I'm saying her name correctly. Right, born August 18th, 1981.
So, Samesha, this is interesting because You're in your third pinnacle cycle with a 9 lesson and a 7 challenge. When I tell you about your spirituality, in fact, you're going to be in that for the rest of your life. What's interesting about that with the 9 is asking you to tap into your spiritual gifts. 9 is all about spirituality. These are your inspirational speakers, your motivational speakers, people who can draw upon life experiences, all of the struggles that they had to go through in life, but they're sharing it in a dramatic way that draws people in because 9 is a number of universal law, universal attraction. So people from all walks of life, from all parts of the world, are going to be drawn to you. With that 7 challenge, though, you want to retreat. You want to be inside or with nature, really finding the true meanings, the hidden meanings behind life, behind your life's purpose, behind your craft. And that's difficult for you because you're born on the 18th. And so you're probably somebody who is a medium. You probably communicate with people who have transitioned because 18 talks about going between the realms of the physical and the spiritual. So you really are the bridge, and you are going to be in a bridge cycle for the remainder of your life. So if you are not tapping into these gifts that we're sharing today, you definitely need to start because this will assist you on your journey.
That's so amazing because she's the Eight of Clubs. So, and they are highly intuitive and highly sensitive. And you're going to get a test. And when we step into sad season, it's going to really be interesting for you. I don't know if you're in a relationship, but your relationships are going to change. But the main relationship you want to pay attention to is the one with you. Whatever your practices are now, you got to really pay attention during sad season because it's ruled by Jupiter. So everything is going to blow up for you. So get prepared. I don't know what you're doing, but this is going to be very, I want you to reach out to me. I want to hear about it because you got some serious juju coming in sad season. The Eight of Clubs is one of the most three powerful cards in the deck. You don't move, you're a generator. So things come to you. You don't go to it. So if you know how to use your power and you've been working your juju, girl, you getting ready to get, I'm just saying, it's getting ready to be so freaking amazing for you because of the work that you've done.
And I gotta tell you, the way you read the cards and the way Jackie numbers this, it's like this is an awesome, awesome show for me. First of all, I want to acknowledge I'm trying to get this together. I want to thank Cece for her donation, and I think there was another one. T Happy Cake. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate this. All this is kind of new to me, but the fact that I know numbers or dollar signs, but I'm saying this, whatever it is. Thank you very, very much for that. Okay. We have next Ayana. And she says, thanks so much. Her birthday is October the 11th, 1950. She's looking for the next phase of her life and where geographically should she be? Interesting question, ladies.
That is interesting. So you're in your last pinnacle lesson and you're in a 7 lesson and a 5 challenge. So the 7 lesson is all about, again, spirituality, going deep within and really trying to find the inner truths. 7 is the number of revealing those things that are hidden. 7 is what we do when we really want to tap into source and tap into ourselves. And so we have to ask yourself, are you in this space creating something brand new with source, or are you in this space doing your shadow work? Because 7 is ruled by Neptune. And so it's asking you to do one of the two. And so when you're asking, where do you need to be geographically? You need to be somewhere that allows you to be closer to nature in that 7 energy. You need to be somewhere with that 5 challenge that allows you to be able to move around freely, because although you're doing that introspective work, you want some change, you want some variety. So places that don't really have you too confined, but has given you the ability to be out in nature, to develop yourself spiritually, and to continue as you go through your senior years to really be rested, because 7 wants to be rested. It doesn't want to be around a lot of people with a lot of noise and distractions. And you're in your 9 personal year. So this is all about you giving back to those who are in service. And it's about you traveling internationally. So my advice to you would be to hop on a plane, go somewhere that spirit tells you. The first place that you can think of internationally outside of the US, away, someplace in the tropics if you like the heat, and just see what resonates with your spirit, because you need to be somewhere close to nature.
That's so crazy because she's a jack of clubs, right? And she has a five of hearts and Mercury, so you're restless. So you're thinking, you're really you have a desire definitely to connect with things that are mercurial. But for me, you have the nine of diamonds in Pluto, and you have the queen of spades as your reward. So I see Georgia. It's a queen of spades state. So I don't know if you live in Georgia or you're familiar with Georgia, but I think you should definitely visit Georgia before you make any kind of moves, because it's definitely the reward. And Jazz talked about the fives. The five of diamonds is supporting it. And the five of diamonds is about the change, it's about the investment. Your challenges are the ace of diamonds. So you have to prepare. The ace of diamonds is about the preparation. So you're going to have to prepare for this move. You're going to have to make sure that you have all of your things in order, because the ace of diamonds is the newness of it. So you want to move someplace new. You want to move someplace adventurous, but you got to make sure that your resources are going to allow you to do that. But yeah, I definitely do see you. You got a lot of, yeah, you definitely want to move. Your challenges are the king of clubs. So that's universal law. So you definitely have to be strategic in how you move. You can't just throw yourself out there, because that's Uranus. And we know Uranus is ruled by four. So you want to definitely be strategic in where you're going and visit some places. And I would definitely take that first trip outside the country. That would be me. I would definitely follow what Jazz says, because you'll come back here and appreciate it. Right. You appreciate being home. But I would definitely do some long distance traveling.
This is from Chi Happy Cake that made the $10 donation, which I thank her very much. And she is born on March the 4th of 1986, and she wants like a general reading.
Tea Happy Cake, you are in your second pinnacle cycle and you are in a one challenge. So it's time for you to rise up. Last cycle, you were in a one challenge. Now you're in a one lesson, excuse me. So the challenge was making you prepared for you to step up and really assert yourself. So what are you doing to be at the forefront? What business are you creating? In fact, are you coming into a managerial position at work? Are you taking over a department? Because I see that you have a two challenge, which means that you need to know how to work as part of a team. You may need to exercise discipline and tact with yourself. I always tell people to put some honey in their mouths to sweeten up their palates when they're speaking to people, so that things can be nicely said. And so that's something that you want to practice for the next 9 years. And so you definitely want to be able to rally people around you, because good leaders are good followers. And so that's what that two energy is showing you, that you need to be able to follow in order to lead. And so this is preparing you for that. And you're a four, your life path number is a four. So you're learning how to be somebody who can rally people around, how to be resourceful, how to build something for the future that's going to stand strong. And so you do that by making sure that you have the resources around you to do that.
That's crazy, because you're a six of spades, so you don't know how to do what she said with your mouth. So you need to put some honey in there, because the six of spades is not known for that, and especially because of that Uranus energy. But you're displacing the Jack of Clubs this year, and the challenging common cards are Jack of Diamonds. You got Jack of Spades and Venus, the Jack of Diamonds in Jupiter. So you don't want to work. It's like you're trying to figure it out. You're like, I don't want to work. That's the whole thing. It's like you have you have the ability to really explore now. And as a six, I think we got feedback, Lord. And as a six, you don't want to pull a trigger this year, because you know you are the card that we use to discover ourselves. So this is about discovery. The Jack of Diamonds is your challenging common card. So if you're working, yeah, they've been coming for you. At work, they've been coming for you hard with the Jack of Diamonds challenging you. Definitely have if you're looking at being in the entertainment energy and entertainment, you definitely are feeling it. Say if you want to cipher, you might feel like rapping. You might have this been a very interesting year for you. But it will be a year of wish fulfillment if you are using that Jack energy good. You know what I mean? Not being a low vibrational Jack, but Jacks are some the spiritual initiates. So you definitely have some juju, and you may have been bringing people to you, and you want to test that. I would test it. I would just sit around and see how I could draw people to me with all them Jacks that you have, and you're six of spades, so you're a very mystical person. But this definitely for me this year is definitely about you getting out there and experimenting, because you got a lot of money around you, but the money is coming spiritually. You're not getting, you got spiritual money.
I have a question, Nina.
Mm-hmm.
If her card suggests she don't like the work, what card is best for her to help her continue her lifestyle or her life or whatever the case is? Does that make sense?
Well, this year it's just she just has to she wants to venture out. It's not that she doesn't want to work for, she doesn't want to be confined. She know, people know they have to work, but this year she could really feel where that entrepreneur spirit is coming in, because that's what Jacks are. Jacks are going around and trying to, it's like they're sweetening the pot for everybody. So that's that entrepreneur spirit. So this year is just looking at entrepreneur adventures and stuff like that, and seeing how you can make them profitable. But this is about spirituality. You're not going to make money from a 9 to 5. That's not, your 9 to 5 is going to pay your bills, but your overflow is coming from spirituality.
I want to ask a question before we take other callers. Jacquie had just mentioned just before this shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, because, I understand what it means, but because my viewers, I'm assuming there might be somebody that's hearing it for the first time or not sure. What is your definition, ladies, of shadow work?
So I'll take that one. So it's interesting. Thank you for asking that question. The shadow work is going to the recesses and the parts of yourself that you like least. It's where all of the traumas reside. It is where all of our hurts, our pains, everything that we tend to run away from, sometimes we just let them sit and build. And so that's why when I start to write my book, I needed to release a lot of what I had gone through. And through the process of writing, that was my shadow work. First, identifying the parts of me that were wrong or needed assistance, being honest about those parts of me that were not correct or that needed some correction, and then committing it to paper, because we have to find a way to transfer that energy. Everything that we do is energetic. And so the energy is either staying in your body and becoming crystallized as disease, or you're transmuting it in another way, either through writing, through singing, through something that allows it to come out of your body and transfer somewhere else. And so when I was writing the book, I said to myself, I had to find a way to make sense of what it is that I'm going through. Yes, I have these traumas. Yes, I have these hurts, but how do I conceptualize it to know that this had to happen for these reasons? And that's how numerology came into the picture. That's how cardology came into the picture. Because in my book, I explained it with numerology and cardology and astrology. And so these tools were able for me to really put these pieces together to understand why I had to go through what I went through, why these key players were in my life. And I really had to sit with that, sit with it, and really do the hard work. First, acknowledgement is a shadow work. A lot of people run from themselves all day long. And yes, you can talk to a therapist. The therapists themselves don't even have these tools. It used to be a practice where when you go into a doctor, they would have your astrology chart and be able to tell you what aspects were affecting you to best treat you. They don't do those things anymore. And so, yes, these tools can be viewed as esoteric, but they are really truly aligned with our lives and gives us the blueprint for our specific purpose in lives and traumas and hurts and all of that for us to navigate and to work through.
Yeah,
What you're
and it's
saying,
just,
based upon that, we all got shadow work to do, serious
yeah,
shadow work to do. A
yeah,
diamond?
and in cardology, we would start with your Pluto card, because that's the eighth house. So we would definitely look at that. And when it shows up, it's going to tell you the position that it's in. The planetary configurations are going to tell you. And people are going to come in your life representative of that card. The triggers that you have are going to trigger you and force you to address those shadows. So it's not the people who come into your life. And the biggest thing that you want to deal with is ego. Because if you're having a disagreement with someone or your relationship with your intimate partners right now, it's you, it's not them. These things are to trigger you for you to do the work. Now, they could be getting on your last nerve, but the moment you do the work, they won't be getting on your last nerve anymore. So it's important for you to have the conversations. If you are definitely reach out to someone, you don't want to get into the place where you're down in the dark night of the soul of the 12th house. You want to make sure that you have someone that can give you tools to help you through it, because it is dependent on how much work you've done. If you've never done any work, it can be very difficult. And you don't want to use drugs, you don't want to use alcohol, you don't want to have escapism, because when you get sober, they're going to still be there. So you want to do the work. That's what we call the work. And if it hurts, it's because you haven't done it yet. It's going to dissipate. And you know what it is? It doesn't go away, it gets better. It just changes. It's like, okay, I've seen this before. So you don't go into the dark night of the soul. The shadow work is the shadow work. The dark night of the soul is a whole different thing. So to avoid the dark night of the soul, lean in, lean all the way into your shadows. They're not your wife's shadows. They're not your husband. They're not your children's. They're not your boss. They're yours. They're your shadows, and you can't keep deflecting them and shading people, because you have to do the work.
That's like based upon fears that we avoid for our own self development and our own growth, right? And I would guess, I would imagine almost everybody has gone through some drama, some trauma, something, but the point is to own up to it. And which I
Yes.
think is a lot of people have a problem is owning up, where I'd rather blame you, Neena. If not, I'll blame Jacquie, because it's obviously not me, and it's all your fault, ladies.
Yeah,
You know?
that part. Yeah, because you the person that's standing in front of you, the ego tells you it's that person. We are reflectors. And if you have a queen sitting in your chart, or you are a queen, you're reflecting this. So if you're looking at the person and the person is tweaking you, it's because you are looking at the person and not going inside. The work is inside. It's gonna hurt, but that person doesn't deserve for you to be angry at them. There, literally, when you do that work, you can fall in love with that person again, because it was never them. It was always you.
That's amazing. And yet, that seems like the most great challenge, to just get out of your own way, so to speak, and own up to what you're doing. But before we take more uh, comments, I want to put on the screen something that you and Jacquie just started yesterday. And that, can you tell us about this? Did you just start it yesterday?
Absolutely. Yes, that's our class. Me and Jacquie started. You got feedback, Lloyd. Me and Jacquie started. This is our second. This is the second installment of our classes. The last one was so amazing and so dope that this is the second time we've done that, and we're literally, putting all of the three modalities together so people can do the work that we talked about in the beginning and heal. So yeah, it's definitely been a labor of love and well received. And if you want to join the class, our next class is on Wednesday. You would have to join soon if you want to join this class, or wait for the next one. It's the next one will be after this 6 weeks time.
But you're saying that there is a last minute opportunity to get in as early as this Wednesday.
Be tomorrow. It would be tomorrow, because Wednesday is our second installment. So we would be able to give you, because everything is recorded, and you would be able to get the recording to catch up, so you won't be so far behind.
The road, you have this coming up. Can you tell us about this
Yes.
event?
Yes, This is our sisterhood of the traveling spreads. It's amazing. When we were in Clubhouse, we were discussing my healing circles that I used to have with my girlfriends. I would invite girlfriends from all walks of life to my home and have meals catered. And we would do that shadow work together. We would talk about the things that ailed us. And from that Clubhouse, I said, wouldn't it be great if we had a traveling troupe of women who went around the world doing this work, having healing circles, and teaching these metaphysical sciences? And Diamond, of course, was like, yep, let's do it. We had Callie jump in, we had Julie jump in. Through the course of time, it ended up being Diamond and I, but that's fine. We're going to build a troupe again. But it's inviting women to come to New Orleans February 22nd to 24th so that we can start doing the shadow work together. And we're traveling to a city near you, but we're starting out in New Orleans for Mardi Gras week. And so we are teaching these tools, teaching these modalities, and we're also having healing circles at night so that we can start removing some of that heaviness that women are carrying around with them. And so this is going to be a great opportunity, if you can't make our classes, for you to be a part of the sisterhood of the traveling spreads. And our email is let's holla at stshealing.com because we want you to holla at us. And the site is stshealing.com.
Holla.
I knew you were going to laugh when you heard the email.
I know, right?
You ladies are so much fun, I swear. Okay. Right. So we're going to get to some more calls, but I think this
Lloyd,
is nice.
but Lloyd, we got a lot of Jack of Diamonds on here. I need you to pick up one of them Jack of Diamonds because we got.
I don't know who's a Jack of Diamonds.
They be
Okay,
posting
Diamond.
it. They posted. They said they're Jack of Diamonds.
Listen, I need to have your book in front of me or whatever, because I don't.
No. Look, Rosalind says she's a Jack of Diamonds.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't get to Rosalind yet. See, I mean, you got a whole lot of people up on here, but that's good. So here's what we do. Since you two are able to see that, why don't y'all pick some diamonds? I think we start out with a lot of hearts. Is that correct?
Yeah, we did. But this is Jack of Diamonds month. I want to talk to Jack of Diamonds. This is their month.
Well, you two just go right ahead and knock yourselves out. Now, where? Let me see. Let me go to the comments to find out who's a Jack of Diamond.
Rosalind Gordon.
It's 116, January 16th.
Okay, well, until I find it, well, let me take the banner off, and let's start with January. Yeah, and in fact, believe it or not, I am working with a person right now on a major project celebrating the 135 years of Harlem history, and the lead person is a Jack of Diamond, which I think is interesting. Okay, that's all I'll say for now. So what you do, ladies, you need to help me because I have so many. I'll look through there.
I have Rosalind for now. I'll start with Rosalind. So, Rosalind, January 16th, interesting birthday. So you have the karmic debt as your birthday number, 16. 16 is all about karmic debt. And so what you may discover is in life, of course, disappointments in relationships, but that doesn't make you unique. We all have that. In terms of the 16, you may find that you build yourself up to be torn down. 16 is one of those karmic debt numbers that speaks about in a past life, either you being somebody who broke the law as it pertained to the law as it pertained to right and wrong. You are a Jack. Jacks are very smart. They are spiritual initiates, but they can be very crafty and they have a criminal element about them. And what's interesting about that is that your life path is an 11. So you have that 11 energy, not only in your card with that Jack, but your life path is an 11, which makes you a wounded healer, somebody who experiences a lot of failures, rises to success, plummets to failure, rises to success, because you have to turn those wounds into words of healing for others. You have to turn those life experiences that have made you question why you've chosen this path, because you did choose this path. And that reason is because you have to bring people to a higher awakening, a higher calling. So, what are you sharing of yourself? Because in this pinnacle lesson, you have to step out in the forefront and be a leader. So, how are you leading your masses with that Jack of Diamonds?
Yeah, that part. And Jack's, like she said, are spiritual initiates, and the Jack of Diamonds is the card of the United States. And it's one of the most fortunate cards that there is to have. But like she said, it's just so many trials and tribulations. Being in the United States, you see, we always come out on top. So the Jack of Diamonds always comes out on top. But you have the Four Hearts and Mercury, and the Four Hearts is the cornerstone. It's the family. So families are the things that challenge you the most. Definitely intimate relationships. But this year, you're displacing the King of Clubs, the card of universal laws. So you definitely had a very interesting year. Definitely were called to step up into leadership, and Jacks don't want to step into leadership. So it's kind of interesting. It was probably interesting to see yourself navigate how to get out of it. It's like, I'm not doing that, right? But I don't know if you did or not, but I know there were times where it was standing in your face, and how you applied it is going to show you the things, the fulfillment out of it, because you have a nine of spaces, your Mercury card, which is wish fulfillment. So you could have learned so much about yourself, definitely about people, siblings, and close relationships, but you have been called to task this year. And that's the story of your life. You're a Jack of Diamonds. You are very karmic. You have a lot of karma attached to you. And this is your month. The month of November is the Jack of Diamonds month. So this is usually a pretty good month for you, a very successful month, very family. This is a year of celebration for you with the Nine of Spades. You want to celebrate. I don't care what you do. You want to get up in the morning with that spirit of celebration. And this Thanksgiving, make it your best. You don't have to celebrate Thanksgiving because we don't want to get involved in a holiday, but you represent family. The Jack of Diamonds is about family. So Thanksgiving comes because this is the month of overflow. October was the harvest. So in this month, people just would go to houses and they would bring potluck and they would eat and celebrate their crops. So it became Thanksgiving. So that's the cornerstone of the Jack of Diamonds. So you have to set a table. You have to have people over. You have to sit and break bread with people, because that's where your juju is. So this month, make sure you do that. Make sure you celebrate. Make sure you get out there and spread your juju around, so you can get the wish fulfillment before your birthday. Your birthday next year is gonna be fire for you, but you got to close off this year with this month. This is your month. You got to do it. I don't care if you don't like people. I don't care. Just don't like them, but you got to set that table.
The one thing about you, Neena Diamond, you keep it real. Okay, there's no question. Um, this is Julio Johnson. Today is his birthday, he says. His real name is Julio Johnson. What say you about him, ladies?
Can I say this first? Can I say something?
Please.
Yo ho, Julio. I had to get that off my chest. I love to say that anytime I meet somebody with, that's the neighborhood thing, Julio, right? Yo ho. I'm sorry, Julio, but I'm just that person. I can't help myself.
So we start with you reading, and then we'll go to Jacquii. So what is his card today, since today's his birthday?
His it was his card. He's a king of clubs. He said, "What's his card today?" So he's a king of clubs, and just like I mean, it's so interesting that everybody pretty much that we've looked at has a Jack of clubs, a king of clubs, and that's really interesting to say what's going on in the world. But being a king of clubs, you've just ended a year and you're starting a new year. And this year, I think I would say from, I don't know, it's a brief period of time this year where you definitely had to go through some real transformation. This has been a year of transformation for you. We were talking about the dark night of the soul. It came and sat on your bed, didn't it? It's like shadow work was following you this year. So it's been beneficial if you did the shadow work this year. that you're going to have. And I see so much wish fulfillment for people, but this was a year for you of transformation, death and rebirth, many deaths and rebirths, definitely letting go of things. And you know, the king of clubs, you know, you're all about universal law, but you're ruled by Uranus. So things happen to you in odd and unusual ways. You're futuristic. You see things and people can't keep up with you. So you are looking at the future all of the time. If we're sitting there making lemonade, you're like, nah, I gotta make strawberry lemonade, right? That's just how you are. You always got to put a spin on it. But this year was about you going deep down inside of the recesses of your soul. I'm telling you, you had 6 months of, I need this to end. You just was like, I don't know, what did I do, right? But now that you're on the other side of that and you're going into your new birthday, going into your new year, be proud of yourself if you've done that work. If you didn't, do it, because this was definitely a year that challenged you.
Jacquie?
Well, interesting because you have had about 25 years of giving yourself away to other people. Right now, you're in a one pinnacle lesson with a six challenge. But before that, I want to say for 18 years before that, it was all about your family. You were in the sixth lesson. So your family was pulling and tugging on you and really requiring things of you. So whatever resources you had, because you are an eight life path, whatever resources you built, you tend to give them away to your community, those who you love, the community that you formed with that six, because six wants to be the nurturer, the caretaker, the one that everybody relies upon to build and to provide for. And so your focus was your family, the people that you loved most. And so now that you're in this one lesson, it's all about you. So don't be afraid to step out to do the things that you want to do for Dolo. You cannot take anybody else's feelings into consideration now. The universe wants you to do for yourself. And so, yes, you definitely don't want to hurt those that you love, but you definitely want to set up boundaries so that they don't overstep your peace, overstep your space. And you're in a sixth personal year. And so you definitely want to do some learning, go back to school to build your resources in terms of the knowledge that you have, because knowledge is the new currency. And so you definitely want to take care of nurturing yourself right now. So kind of leave the family alone for a bit and tend to you.
That makes all the sense in the world. In fact, we got this person here. They says they're born November the 9th, 2 days from now. They're curious about their Jack of Diamond in Saturn. So, Nina, I'm going to have you handle that one first. She says her Jack of Diamond is in Saturn also.
Yeah, because she's a jack of clubs. So you're the jack of clubs is a very karmic card. The connection with the Jack of Diamonds, because it's your Saturn card, but it's also your challenging karma card. So you being a Jack and you having a Jack to challenge you, the Jack of Diamonds is a very spiritual adept card, right? The Jack of Clubs is about communication. That Jack of Diamonds is telling you about your resources. Jack of Diamonds is the master salesperson, you know, able to distribute resources. And that's what you got to do. So the conversations that the Jack of Diamonds are having with you, and both of you are Uranian, are definitely interesting. The way that you give, the way that you do, and you're known for that. The thing is, you don't want to be egoic about it because it's your Saturn card. So you want people to recognize your altruistic ways, right? You want people to recognize that, yeah, I can open that door for you. So you don't want to be that person. You want to be with the Jack of Diamonds challenging you, that's saying that there's a lot of eyes on you, and that means there's a lot of haters on you. So Jack of Clubs definitely deals with haters, right? And you could get really trapped inside of that, wondering why. Because you have the Jack of Diamonds. You've got the card of the United States as your Saturn card. So you cannot get around your big head. You can't. Your head is big for a reason. Some of us are born with a lot, and the Jack of Clubs has a lot. It's the card of hip hop. Think about the hip hop artists. The first thing they want to do is put a chain around their neck and be seen. That's the Jack of Clubs. So you are being challenged by that Jack of Diamonds to be spiritual, to be more tactful, to be more authentic, to understand that the people that are coming to you, they don't want to know about your big head. Your big head, you have a big Saturn, and Saturn is where you stand out. It's your 10th house. It's what you're known for. So if people say, "Hey, yeah, you're a very giving person," you're like, "Yeah, okay," and that's it. Yes, I paid your rent. No, you should never say that. You should never say, "Yeah, I did that. I'm that person." No, you got to fall back and say, "Yes, thank you," and just be appreciative and keep it moving, right?
Jackie?
Yes, I say. So you are in a two lesson. You're in your first pinnacle cycle. So you're in a two lesson. So as far as you stepping out with that Jack of Clubs energy, you're often shy. And so you want to stay in the background because that too is very sensitive. And so you do have a lot of psychic abilities that need to be developed. And it's interesting because you're a seven life path. And so it is your life's journey to learn to be a spiritual initiate. It is your life's journey for you to get involved in the metaphysical sciences in one way or the other, whether it be cardology, numerology, tarot, however you choose to express your spiritual gifts. You have to develop it. And so you definitely need to learn, jump into some classes, do some work so that you can develop that gift because that's also your challenge. And so you are definitely in one of these introspective modes where it is all about you, one, developing your gifts, but also two, understanding what it means to be in a seven energy. Being in a seven energy right out the gate is hard because when people are out having a good time and you're a nine, nines love to be the center of attention, nines love to have a good time. You struggle with wanting to be by yourself. So sometimes being in a crowd affects you. And with that too lesson, it's going to hit you in your digestive system as well. And so you definitely want to be sensitive to being around people. I suggest if you're not into crystals, that you do get into crystals to protect your aura because your aura needs to be protected as a seven life path number. And as a person who's a nine, you have a lot of spiritual energy around you. And so protecting your aura, get some black obsidian, get any some carnelian to help you speak because with that too, if you're going to be a spoken word artist or whatever it is that's calling you to teach in front of people, you need to be able to build up your confidence.
Right. We got another person here. They're born on January the 12th of 88. Desmales, I hope I'm saying it right. Anyway, what say you about her? Jackie, you go first.
So Day Smiles, you are in your second pinnacle cycle and you're in an 11. So you are in that visionary energy. You are getting downloads upon downloads. So whether you are getting psychic visions in your sleep or your dreams, or if spirit is whispering to you, however the messages are coming, you're getting hit with a lot of inspiration directly from source. And so it is telling you that you need to be able to channel that energy into something that puts you in front of people, whether you are speaking in front of people, because 11 calls for you to be famous. If you're stepping into that 11 energy, it wants you to be in front of people in an artistic way. It's separate from the 22, which is all about building and mind stuff, but 11 is about creativity. So how are you sharing your creativity now? What do you want to do with these gifts and these inspirations that spirit is bestowing upon you? Your challenge is a 5, and so 5 talks about change. 5 talks about you being restless in this energy. And so you definitely have to find a way to adapt and live in this spiritual space, but wanting to break out of it and do the things that call for you to have fun, because you definitely want to have fun. But my thing would be, in order for you to satisfy that 5 challenge, start writing, whether it be journaling, just finding ways to channel your creativity through the art of writing, because 5 is the number of the writer. And your life path is a 3. So you have to learn how to speak your authentic truth, whether it is through acting, singing, dancing, or something creative. But you need to know how to speak your truth. Start with writing, and journaling is the best way to start that.
Neena?
And you're a two of spades. So definitely wanting to be closer, like you said, getting out there this year, just facing the 10 of hearts. But the two of spades is a very spiritually adept card. So, learning to come out of your shell. Yeah, this year I don't necessarily see it. The challenging karma cards are Jack of Clubs. And that's a challenge for you. And twos don't, that especially a two of spades, y'all don't rise to the occasion. You don't like challenges. So this year is for me the word, conversation, the spoken word, how you communicate with people is definitely someplace to start. Definitely looking at lots of deja vu, probably having lots of conversations with your siblings, early childhood friends and stuff like that, but getting out of your comfort zone. And I think you definitely want to move, definitely have some, maybe, I don't know if you're in a relationship, your relationships may be a little challenging for you this year, but you're coming into a new year and you want to think about, for me, and this is the collective what I'm telling you, talking to you about, so you want to put yourself out there as much as you possibly can, especially maybe during this holiday time. You can go out and be around holiday functions, like I said, with siblings and with people from your early childhood, and see how communication is, because it is a year definitely that you were supported business wise. I don't know if you started a new business or a new job, but it was definitely there for you to be able to put yourself out there. You have the Eight of Diamonds this year, and it's your Neptune card. So Eight of Diamonds is your Uranus for life. So you had Neptune, Uranus with the Eight of Diamonds, and that's a pretty, resources and stuff like that for you this year. If you went into a gas station this year and got a scratch off, you might have won $5,000. That's Neptune and Uranus, right? The fate of that Eight of Diamonds. So you got a couple of days before your birthday, so you need to figure out how to get you a scratch off and how to manifest that money that's down there in Neptune for you.
And there is, for example, this person here, the Copper Oral Collective. They said they're a Jack of Diamond. Now, it's interesting. You said January 16th was a Jack of Diamond. July 4th, I know, is a Jack of Diamond. And this person is a Jack of Diamonds. So although all three of them are Jack of Diamonds, they're under three different signs, three different set of numbers. So do you read them in that way? Does that make sense? Or does all Jack of Diamonds represent all Jack of Diamonds?
No, they all have different planetary rulers. I'm just doing the general reading for the Jack of Diamonds. But if individually you look at it based on their age and based on their planetary ruler. So, like the Jack of Diamonds, January, that would be a Cap. So that's a Jack of Diamonds, Capricorn. So you're looking at the Jack of Diamonds and their Saturn card, which is the Jack of Clubs. So it's different. Yeah, it's going to be different energy.
So that means you would be looking at the Jack of Diamond in his Mercury card, if that's the case. For this one at the bottom, the Copper Oral Collective. Yes, they're born June the 6th. All right, I'm getting a little hang of this. Give me about another year, okay? I'll get this a bit. All righty, good enough, good enough. Okay, I hope that answers his questions. Let's see what else, because we're a little past the hour. I'm not going to keep you too much longer. And Dave Smile said thank you, and a couple other people that you read before said also thank you very, very much. A person has a question for you. This is, I guess, for Jacquie. They're age 51. They're a Queen of Club, and they're born September the 12th of 71. Who wants to handle that?
They're Queen of Clubs. They're definitely, the Queen of Clubs is tomorrow, and we have this amazing moon. So this is definitely going to be interesting for you. Stay home if you can. So pretty much, depending on how you feeling, because Queen of Clubs, y'all are very interesting people. You like a lot and then you don't. So you want to be mindful of being out and about during these times, especially Scorpio season, with this energy that's out there, because you got a Jack of Hearts and Pluto. So your ability to trigger people during these times is going to be on fire, right? Because people come to you because they have a need and a desire, and it's an emotional need and desire. And you got to keep that in mind, because you are the mirror. You are the Queen of Clubs is mercurial. So you have a lot of intuition. You got to learn how to follow it and trust it. You got to learn how to stand in your square. You know, I find the Queen of Clubs out of all the cards in the deck is the one that will leave their house first. And you can't do that. You have to make sure that you take care of yourself first, because you can't get so involved in people's lives that you are now doing for them. You can't do that. And I find the Queen of Clubs, y'all have such a big heart that you do that, but then you become resentful. So you got to stay on your square. And I think this season is coming up with this new moon is going to test you. We've had several Queen of Clubs this week that and last week that have been in the news, and that's making me look at the Queen of Clubs, because when Queen of Clubs start, any card in the news starts showing up more than one time, you want to pay attention to that energy. And because the moon is tomorrow, we definitely want to pay attention to the energy of the Queen of Clubs.
Jacquie?
Hey, Jacquie. So we have the same name. It does have an extra I, but you are coming out of your third cycle and going into your fourth pinnacle cycle. So right now you're in a sixth lesson. You don't have a challenge. The sixth lesson is for you, of course, to build community and to focus on family and those that you love. But also, because you are the Queen of Clubs, really focus it upon your education. How are you building your knowledge base? Because the Queen of Clubs, even though you have a lot of intuition at your disposal, you also have a lot of knowledge, and you're also looking to build upon that knowledge base that you have, whether it be about a technical skill or a spiritual skill. However, you're going to move into your 9 lesson next year, and so that's all about you being in the space of humanitarianism. How are you giving back to those in need? What are you doing for those who are less fortunate? Because in order for you to reap the harvest, you have to give of yourself without expecting anything in return. And you're in your 9 personal year, so people are leaving your lives. Things, habits, people that no longer serve you are leaving. And so this is the beginning of a new cycle. Allow them to leave, because in January, new folks are going to come, new enterprises are going to begin. But what are you doing to build yourself up spiritually as you preparing to enter that 9 lesson, so that you are providing a service to others for the benefit of humankind?
That's good. We're going to take a couple more. This person here says they think they are a 3 of clubs. Neena.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
And what would that mean for them, basically?
Well, this year has definitely been a challenging year for you. And when I talk about the year, I'm talking about the United States year that starts in July. You're sitting in Trans Pluto, which is the 8th house, and the 3 of clubs is a card of teenagers. So I don't know if you're around teenagers. I don't know if you've been getting that little extra pep inside of you, but this has been then the 3 of clubs it's a very interesting card. Has a lot. When you read about it, it can go, to 3. So it's Jupiter. So you add that on with the clubs. There's so much potential inside of this card. Y'all are definitely people. You're someone that people really don't understand, and you like it like that. You're not trying to get people don't understand you. You're not gonna get in your feelings, right? You share a call with Kobe Bryant. And the one thing I know about 3 of clubs is that your tenacity and your integrity. You're a person that has a lot of integrity. You judge people. If someone is saying something, you want to see how they handle themselves. People that just show up, they don't impress you. You got to show up. You got to really have something about you, some oomph about you to impress you. You definitely a power card. And when you read in cardology, the 3 of clubs is one of the most misunderstood cards that there is. And this year, with you sitting in Trans Pluto, you are triggering the heck out of people. And you got to be mindful of that. You got to be mindful of the triggers that are going off, because the energy that we carry is the house that we sit in. And you're sitting in one of the most powerful houses that there is. You're sitting in Trans Pluto, which is a higher vibration of Pluto. So when we talked about the shadow work, this year you can't say anything to anybody. I don't care if somebody calls you a bop, bop, bop. You say, yeah, I am. That's it, right? Because you are on Front Street. And, Pluto, the thing about Pluto, and definitely with us being in Scorpio season, is that people that are sometimes call themselves, they have all of these special talents and stuff. Ones that don't use it on themselves, avoid, because your special talents are for yourself. If you're clairvoyant on yourself, when you giving out information and you haven't applied it to yourself, it's kind of like, really, that's the three of clubs. It's like you need to apply that information to yourself. I hear everything that you're saying, but I see that can of beer in your hand. That's the three of clubs. You're not going to respect them. So be mindful of that with you sitting in that eighth house, because you're going to be the one that people are going to be dissecting this year. People are waiting. They're just waiting. You set yourself up that way. So people are going to be waiting to say, oh, okay, I noticed this about you. And you want to say, okay, okay, I'll take it and keep it moving, because you're the card of war, right? The three of clubs is a card of war. That is what the United States uses when it wants to launch an attack. So you don't want to get into conversations with people when you're sitting in Pluto and launch attacks. You'll never want to do it. But now this year, especially, you want to fall way, way back, because there's death attached to that. That people will go left, and with Mars retrograde, especially, be mindful of the conversations, the people, places, and things, and stay as close to people who love you as you possibly can, because they will be your protection this year.
Jackie, would you like to give a little assessment on this?
Yeah, I'll give a little assessment because Diamond covered the full gamut. But honey, because you are I believe a Virgo 3, you need to be mindful too, as you were saying, in terms of you triggering folks, because you may have internal imbalances with yourself. Like your mood swings may be up and down. You may be struggling with yourself sometimes. And so when people say things, you will pop off because internally you have things going on. But as that 3, you have emotional upsets. And so you will have outbursts. You will want to get in folks' face because you're in a 9 personal year, and 9 is all about that Mars energy. And so quick to have arguments or quarrels with people. And so you need to be very mindful that those quarrels and arguments don't lead to anything that pertains to law enforcement, because 9 is also the number of law enforcement. And so you want to channel that energy into being the boss that you came to be, because you are a 1 life path and you're moving into a 1 lesson as far as your pinnacle cycles are concerned. And so it's all about you bossing up. So all that Mars energy that you got stored up inside of you, you want to put into something constructive. What are you building that's going to benefit you? That's going to build a foundation for you, because your challenge is going to be a 4. So you're going to have to put that work in. You're going to have to get disciplined. And sometimes 3s may not always want to be disciplined, because 3s want to have a good time. 3s want to talk a lot. And you want to channel some of that talking into doing with that boss energy.
We just have a few minutes left, but before we do this, I hope that all of you have gotten a good taste of what these ladies do, which is why they have this class that they started yesterday. And as Neena Diamond has says, you got until Wednesday. All right, it started yesterday, but I think they're going to bless y'all. If you get you in now, y'all will be able to play catch up. Between both of these ladies, y'all will be set for the next 6 weeks, which is a good way to bring in the new year, by the way. All righty. So I think this is a perfect vehicle for those of you this year. For those of you who are got plans into next year, this is the place to be. Hold on 1 second. Let me just do something here with the comment section and just remove that. So this will be the place to be. It's going to be in St. Louis, is it?
No, New Orleans.
New Orleans. Okay, good. So I know that this is the place to be. And in fact, this is where you can get in touch with them. The website is there at the bottom. And they also got an email address. So either one of these 2 vehicles, you can find out what's going on. I like how y'all got Les Holler at stshealing.com. I know that's right. You're going to be really, really up there too, and where you're going to be. So these are the places. This is the email. Send an email there. But more importantly, cut all that. Just get on the website, um, take a look, and sign up for it. Now, let me say this to you. You know, a lot of times, hold up, let me just get this off a second, because a lot of times there are there are times when we have to, you know, we say we're going to do this, we say we're going to do that, but I got to tell you, you can't learn this unless you put skin in the game. Okay, talk is cheap. I came up in a generation where they said you can show me better than tell me. So you've gotten two readings from two dynamic ladies. We're just going to maybe take one or two more, but we're going to get how you can be in touch with them separately. But what I'm saying is, it's all nice to talk, but put some skin in the game. For those of you, sign up if you found this a very interesting course. You got Wednesday to do it. They've expanded it or extended it for just a couple of days, although it started yesterday. And also sign up for the class next year, where they're going to be traveling. They're going to be doing something, boy, but it's going to be fierce. So let me just get back to this. And before we take anybody else, let's do you, Jacquie. I mean, excuse me, Neena. How this is how people can reach you. All right. So it's Neena Diamond, cardologist, teacher, lecturer, author. And by the way, speaking of author, she is the author of this book here. All right. Let me just take the banner off 1 second. Tell us about your workbook, Neena.
My workbook is got feedback. My workbook is a labor of love. I've been on Clubhouse for 2 years, but my workbook, I started compiling it about 5 years ago. So I mean, I've been
Did it
teaching
free?
for I've been teaching for 5 years, and the questions that I often get, I just started compiling them, and I wanted to put them in the book. And this is how this came about. So this is a tool for beginners, for intermediate, for advanced. It has so much thing. This is going to be something that you're going to always refer to as a reference guide. It will help you to decode your life, to learn, all of those questions that you asked us. This is what the book is for. So you can sit down and now decode it for yourself. Is Lloyd frozen?
Yeah, looks like he is.
Yeah, he looks like he's frozen. So you can get my book. It's on Amazon. And we have a class that I'm going to be doing for people who purchase the workbook, so we can learn how to use it as a tool. So I'm not going to just leave you out there with it, but it is very, it's not something that is difficult to use. But I do understand that there is a learning curve. So we definitely will be doing that. And it's going to be a live Zoom, and we're going to be breaking down how to use the book. So what happened? His thing is he on again?
Yeah, now it's back correct.
Yeah, he got kicked out. Lloyd got kicked out.
Yeah, I went into another room like I did when I first went to Clubhouse. I went visiting. Okay, so anyway, enough. So this is how you get in touch with Neena Diamond, and please support her too. She is a cardologist extraordinaire, a teacher, lecturer, author. You see her book right there, and so I would want those of you who are interested in cardology to sign up for the course. Also, get her book, and that's how you get in touch with her. Her contact number, her Cash App number. You know how I feel about that show, love. Please do that. And what we're going to do also is we're going to take Jacquie Leviene and give her information too. Oh, let me see. Okay, there we go. There we go. Jacquie?
Yes. So folks, you can holler at me at jazzaphrodite.com. That is my website, jazzaphrodite.com. And you can purchase my book, Knocking from the Inside, which is the hardcover special edition that has the sand texture that feels so beautiful when you touch it. Right? You can purchase that from my site. It only sells for the hardcover from my site. But if you want to purchase the soft cover and the electronic version, Amazon it is. You can also hit me up on IG, jazz.aphrodite. I have a podcast called The Empress High Council, and you can tune in to find out about how to navigate this world. If you are thinking about leaving your 9 to 5 job and don't have the tools, we tell you how to do so. Even though most recently we've been talking more about the relationships between men and women and how that works with the dynamic. We've been having our special guest emperor, Jay Phonics, come in and talk from a male's perspective. So that's been very interesting. I'm getting a lot of hits on that. As well, Clubhouse. We're going to be in Clubhouse tomorrow at 7 p.m. in the Knocking from the Inside Readers Club. This will be the last chapter. We've gone through all 19 chapters, but the replays are up. So if you want to tune in, you can definitely listen to the replays because I read the book live, and then Diamond and I break the chapters down with cardology and numerology. And so we have great conversation. And then my Cash App and Venmo, if you should feel so generous, is at Jazz Aphrodite.
You're on
For
mute.
those that want to sign up for the Sisterhood of the Traveling Spread, this is where you contact them for further information. Again, this is the brochure about it. It's going to be a Mardi Gras for the 22nd of February through the 24th. So, for those of you who wish to be in attendance and have fun, this is where you need to be. Um, I tell you, ladies, since the screen is freezing, I think what I might do is stop while we are ahead. And I want to thank y'all very, very, very much. And y'all just hold on a second, ladies. I just want to announce a couple of things because, in fact, I forgot to announce, would you believe, the forecast for today, as I always do. Right now, as you see, it is a Monday. It's the 7th. The sun is in Scorpio. The moon is in Taurus. It's an 8 universal month, a 9 universal week, a 6 universal day. And what's so interesting, Taurus, Libra, Cancers, and Pisces are the sign. Well, Jacquii is the Taurus that gets on this show, and Neena Diamond is the Libra. So I just thought that was so fitting. Or if you're born on the 6th, the 7th, the 15th, the 16th, the 24th, the 25th of any month, this would be a good day for you. By the way, please pick up Neena Diamond's book, Cardology Workshop. I want to make sure y'all sign up and get it. Go to Amazon.com. I got my copy. The question is, do you have your copy? Okay, so please get your copy. All right, that's how we rolling. Then also Knocking from the Inside. And by the way, she has on each Tuesday in Clubhouse, she actually reads from this book. And I'm talking about the way she reads it. It'll be made into a movie. It's like that, seriously. So I'm just saying, please pick up a copy of her book. You can get a special hardcover edition with the kind of like, well, I loved reading books, so I got that special one where it feels good to the touch, okay? But the knowledge inside is just as important because she based the cycles on her 9-year journey of experiences, and it's absolutely amazing. This Wednesday, I have this astrologer. As I said, we had numerology, we had cardology. Well, Wednesday, we have astrology with Ty Phoenix. And she is, you can see her on Instagram, and she's got into some readings, and the things she says is absolutely fantastic. For those of you, as you know, for November, please pick up the free monthly newsletter. You go to my website, lloyd-strayhorn.com. And today and tomorrow, my numerology courses are on sale. It's a Learn from Lloyd series, How to Read a Person Like a Book, that has been the bestseller since it came out in February of 2020. Then the next one is Learn from Lloyd, the next step in numerology. And the third one was co-created by Jacquii, Leviene, and I keep it real, give people credit where it is due. It is Learn from Lloyd, the do's and don'ts of numerology. So it's in that regard that I want everybody to take the courses on sale. Go to my website in order to take advantage of it. That's lloyd-strayhorn.com. Please like, please share, please subscribe, okay? So working backwards. back, sign up for the newsletter. Working backwards, this is our guest for this Wednesday. And also, this is Jacquie Leviene's book, Knocking from the Inside. Please pick up your copy. And of course, please pick up the copy of Neena's Diamonds Numerology, a Cardology workbook. It's awesome. I just have awesome guests. You know what I'm saying? People think I'm an awesome guy. No, I'm blessed to have awesome guests. That's what it is. So, ladies, I want to thank you very, very much. This has been fun for me. Any last words, ladies, before you go?
Yeah, thank you guys. Y'all are dope. We appreciate your support, showing up and having those questions. And like to see you out here in these cardology and numerology streets.
Ditto. Thank you all for supporting us. Thank you for the beautiful comments. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the support. I know a lot of you have been supporting us for some time. And so we do appreciate the support in all of the rooms. We definitely acknowledge and are grateful for that. And please jump into the courses and the offerings that we have, because we're moving into a 7 universal year in 2023. And so it'll behoove us as a collective to learn these spiritual tools. So we're here for you. So please support.
Yes.
To just say in closing, please, for those of you who missed the course that started yesterday, you have 24 to 48 hours to play catch up and sign up for this course. Please invest your hard-earned time, effort, energy, and resources in taking this course so you can learn why I've had these two distinguished ladies on. And then for those of you who want to get away for the cold month and go somewhere nice and warm and hot and all that stuff and learn something at the same time too, I suggest you join the Sisterhood of the Traveling Spreads there in Mardi Gras on February the 22nd and the 24th. Sign up for these. No excuses now. You know, they've got the information. Hold on, let me make sure, because you know sometimes you say this. I'm going to make sure that y'all see it at the bottom of the screen here, which is the banner information to get it. All right, the Sisterhood of Traveling Spreads. The email is let's holla at stshealing.com, and the site is stshealing.com. So y'all got it. All right, no excuses. All right, that's all I'm saying. No excuses whatsoever. Let me get this out the way. Ladies, thank you. Bless you. You'll all have a nice day. Okay, love y'all much. Y'all are my ladies. That's all I could say. What y'all want me to say? Okay.
Love you too,
Oh,
Lord.
thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So everybody, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Please sign up for the courses, sign up for the classes, make donations to both Jacquie Leviene and Neena Diamond, and you'll be able to see this once we get off and follow the show. Sorry we couldn't get to everybody, but like, I appreciate the support. I appreciate the donations. I am still new at this, but I appreciate you all very, very much. In the meantime, all of you take care. Have a blessed day until then, okay?